So hi everyone. So in the previous session we completed unpaid seller as a concept, a fast revision to the unpaid seller. In the Sale of Goods Act, another concept is still pending to complete in unpaid seller area. That will be the right of stoppage of goods in transit. So I will be fastly completing that area as well from the exams point of view, what are important, etc. So in the previous session, we have completed all the important basics regarding unpaid seller concept. Whenever the buyer doesn't make the payment, full payment for the goods, what are all the rights that are available to the buyer in that? First thing we have seen that with regard to the goods, what powers he have, with regard to the buyer, what powers he have, two things are there. With regard to the goods, he is having two powers again. One is lien, another one is right to stop the goods in transit. Right to stop the goods in transit and rights again as the buyer we are going to complete now. Remaining concept of lien and basic concepts we have completed in the previous session. So with this session we will be completing out entire unpaid seller, one very important area in the examinations with regard to SOGA will be completed. First two are also completed. Just you need to read the transfer of rights and property etc. under the Sale of Goods Act. Remaining we have completed clearly. Clear? So let us start with the area called as unpaid seller chapter, right to stop the goods in transit. That is the area we are going to complete now. Okay. See here. In the previous lecture, what we completed is property in the goods passed to the buyer. Concept that will be covered is a buyer and seller are there. Buying if there is a failure, breach of contract, payment failure, Sale of Goods Act. With regard to the goods, what happened? With regard to the defaulted buyer, what happens? Everything we need to discuss. Okay. So all these concepts have already been completed. Seller's lien. I am telling you once again, point 1, point 2, very important from the exams point of view. Okay. Seller's lien. When lien can be exercised? Lien can be exercised only if he is having a possession. Okay. Part delivery and termination of lien. Okay. Termination of lien is very important for exam. Now we are going to start with the second part. Right of stoppage of goods in the transit. Okay. Right of stoppage of goods in the transit. Transit means goods were purchased by the buyer. That means he said that I will make the payment. Goods are in the transit. Okay. During the time when the goods are in the transit, we came to know that buyer has become insolvent. Buyer has become insolvent. Non-payment is not the issue here, because whether he will make a payment or not, for example, I tell like this. Two situations let us take. You are a buyer, I am a seller. I sell the goods to you. I am in Delhi, you are in Hyderabad. Say for example, you are from Hyderabad, I am from Delhi. Say for example sake, I said that I am a seller, you are a buyer. I said I will be sending goods from Delhi to Hyderabad. Either I will put a condition that you should make a payment now. Okay, I will tell that you should make a payment now. Or I will tell that you should make a payment after delivery of the goods. Two things. Or third thing I can tell, you take the goods first. Okay, you take the goods. On a credit basis, you can make a payment to me after 60 days. Like that I can tell. Three situations I am preferring now. Number 1, payment in advance. Means what? First pay, then only I will send the goods. Second one, post delivery payment. First make a delivery, then after that you have to make a payment. Number 3, credit. First let us discuss the third one. Okay, third one, credit concept. In case of credit, what is the concept and what is the problem here? Here, goods will be delivered first. Okay, goods will be delivered first. But he will not make a payment. Then I can't exercise a lien. When I can exercise a lien? I can exercise a lien only if the goods are in the possession of this seller. Okay, goods are in the possession of the seller. Then only I can exercise what? Lien. Or else I can't exercise the right of lien. So credit transactions, what we can do, you can only take an action not against the goods, you can take an action against the buyer. Okay, so keep it away. This is a next discussion. Now two situations are left out. One is you should make a payment, then only I will deliver the goods. You didn't make a payment, what I will do? I will not deliver. Answer over. Okay, problem comes in the second case. Post delivery means the truck will start from Delhi, the truck will end at Hyderabad. Okay, during the transit it takes around 7 days time. Obviously Delhi to Hyderabad means it is not a short distance, around 2500 3000 kilometers distance is there. It has to travel or not. Daily they will not move for daily they will not move for more than 500 kilometers. Okay, now take 500 kilometers daily, at least a week time they will take or not? 7 days time. During this 7 days time, I came to know, who came to know? Seller came to know that buyer has become insolvent. So what, sir? If buyer is insolvent, he is unable to pay. Therefore, what rights I will have during this 7 days time is the next part of the discussion we are going to make. I hope everyone understood the concept clearly. Okay, let's start with the analysis in a clear way. Let us see. Right of stoppage in transit is a section subject to the provisions of this act when the buyer of the goods becomes insolvent. That's a condition. Buyer of the goods become insolvent. Becomes insolvent means he is declared as an insolvent. The unpaid seller who has parted with the possession of the goods has the right of stopping them in the transit. That means even now it didn't reach the buyer. It is still in the possession of the seller only. Okay, therefore, who has parted with the possession of the goods has a right of stopping them in the transit. It's a right, it's not a duty. You can allow the goods, okay, or you can stop the goods. Generally, person having some amount of common sense will stop it. So, right of stopping them in transit, that is to say, he may resume the possession, means retake the possession of the goods as long as they are in the course of transit and may retain them until paid or tendered price for the goods. That means, if I come to know about information that buyer has become insolvent, I have two options: send the goods, stop the goods. Stop the goods means whom? I should stop the carrier vehicle. Carrier vehicle is there na, I should stop them. I should stop him and tell that don't deliver to that person, bring back to me. That's called as a resume the possession of the goods. Okay, when you can do this? During the course of transit. Okay, as long as they are in the course of transit, you can do that, or else you cannot. Okay, example it has given: A of Mumbai sold certain goods to B of Delhi. He delivered the goods to C, a common carrier, means a vehicle. Okay, for transmission of these goods to B. Before the goods could reach them, B became insolvent and A came to know about it. A can stop the goods in transit by giving a notice of it to the C. That means he can tell the common carrier and tell that stop it, bring back. 1 point over. Next. Question arises. Sir, what do you mean by transit? Starting point, ending point. Sir, I reached the Delhi, but I kept in a warehouse. Now transit is completed or not? That question also can arise. Therefore, law defined what do you mean by duration of a transit in section number 51. Let us see. Goods are deemed to be in the course of transit from the time when they are delivered to a courier to or other bailee for the purpose of transmission to the buyer until the buyer or his agent in his behalf takes delivery of them from such carrier or other bailee. Try to understand this. See here. Okay, first point number 1. What do you mean by transit? Buyer seller entered into agreement. Okay, goods delivered to transporter. Carrier started. Okay, carrier started. Kept in a warehouse. Delivery to buyer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many stages are there? 5 stages are there totally. Buyer and seller entered into agreement. Goods delivered to the transporter. Transporter started. Kept in a warehouse in Delhi. Delhi or some buyer place. Delivered to the buyer or his agent. Okay. Now what will be the transit period? Transit period will be from 2 to 5. Not 1 to 5, not 1 to 4, not 2 to 4. It will be not even 3 to 5. I delivered to you, that's all. From that time when they are delivered, and moreover the word used is from the time, not from the day, not from the date. If I deliver at 12, from 12 you should count. From the time when they are delivered to a carrier or other bailey for the purpose of transmission to the buyer, until the buyer or his agent on his behalf takes delivery. Here the word used is take. That means he should physically come and take delivery of them from such carrier or other bailey. Next. Sir, goods are rejected by the buyer. What to do after reaching? If the goods are rejected by the buyer and the carrier or other bailey continues in a possession of them, the transit is not deemed to be at an end, even if seller has refused to receive them back. That means I sent to Delhi. After reaching Delhi, he said, or Hyderabad. After reaching Hyderabad, you said that I don't want these goods. I said that how can it is possible? I sent you, you have to take. During this dispute period, I still call it as transit period A. Number 2 over. Number 3. When the goods are delivered to a ship chartered by the buyer. Okay, that means hire is made by the buyer. Buyer hired a ship. Okay, it is a question depending on the circumstances of the particular case, whether they are in possession of the master as a carrier or agent of a buyer. Okay, so what is this point? For example, load is received in the form of a ship from Kolkata port to Delhi port. Load has to go. Big machinery will be there. How in trucks it is possible? They will send through ship within India. Inland transport we call it. What we call? Inland transport. Whenever inland transport means what? From port in Kolkata to a port in Gujarat it has to go. How it has to go? It has to travel for around 4,000, 3,000 kilometers or 5,000 kilometers it has to travel. Because from a port in Kolkata from here, it has to start this way and it has to go in that, it has to reach around 20 to 25 days it will take. Okay, because many ports it will stop and it will start again. Okay, inland water transport. So 20 to 25 days time it has taken, say for example. Okay, now the question, who hired the ship? Who hired that container? Buyer hired it. Now let us understand whether it will be, whether I will be saying that from the date of delivery. For example, seller has hired a carrier. Okay, that carrier belongs to whom? That carrier belongs to seller. Till he reaches and gives the delivery to the buyer, I will be calling him as a my seller only. That means my particular carrier, seller's carrier. But a reverse case arises, where that particular carrier vehicle is hired not by the seller but by the buyer. It depends on the agreement. In the agreement, if you clearly write that, okay, the master of the ship is an agent of buyer. The moment you deliver the goods to him in Calcutta, transit will be completed. Am I clear? In all other cases, if he is not a carrier, just he is the master of the, he is just a carrier, in such case, same concept till the delivery in Gujarat or somewhere else, the transit will be continued. That means if he is a buyer's person, If he is a buyer's person, immediately on delivery transit will be completed. If he is not a buyer's person, he is just a carrier vehicle, then till delivery it will be continued. That's the third one. Fourth, where part delivery of the goods has been made to the buyer or his agent in that behalf, the remainder of the goods may be stopped in transit unless such part delivery has been given in such circumstances as to show an agreement to give up the possession of the whole of the goods. Sir, what is this? I will give time. You read this statement properly. Read the statement properly. Completed reading? Okay. See here, why I ask you to read this point is, there is one peculiarly in point where we have to read this. Where part delivery of goods has been made to the buyer or his agent in that behalf, the remainder of the goods may be stopped in transit unless such part delivery has been given in such circumstances as to show an agreement to give up the possession of the whole of the goods. Sir, what do you mean give up the possession of whole of the goods? Unless there is a waiver. You are okay, give it. Later we can collect the price. Like that, if you give a waiver, once you waive, immediately your right of stoppage of goods in transit will be lost. Okay, that's not the point I want to discuss here. You see the point. Part delivery of goods is made. Say for example, I have to send 5 plant and machinery. I send by lorry. Okay, I send by lorry or by ship. Let us take like that. Part delivery of the goods I transferred through a ship. Very big plant and machinery. 2 ships I hired. Okay, containers. One ship is loaded with all the others goods. One ship means totally ship will not be given to me. One small place will be given to me. One ship is fully loaded. Another ship is also fully loaded. So I have hired 2 ships where 3 plant and machinery were loaded in ship number 1, 2 plant and machinery were loaded in ship number 2. Say for example, or try to understand all the 5 plant and machinery are there. I agreed to sell 5 and I will send 3 first, later I will send the 2. 3 ships went. During the transit of those 3 ships, okay, I came to know that 5 machinery are there. Okay, 5 machinery are there. 3 machinery are carried by a ship. 2 machinery I will send after another 1 week or 10 days. Okay, first 3 machinery I sent in ship number 1. During its transit to Gujarat from Kolkata, I came to know that, there is a default from the buyer as he become insolvent. Immediately what I can do, I will stop the transit. Then where is the question of remainder of goods? Remainder of goods, anyway they are with me, I will exercise lien. Why I will stop the transit? If they are in transit, then I will stop. Okay. Therefore, when this provision will get attracted, if both the carrier vehicles started, but they have taken 2 different routes, such that one will reach early, another one will reach later. In such a case, first one earlier one is received already, part delivery is made. Another one part delivery, 5 machinery, 3 machinery reached immediately. Another ship I hired that stop in 4 to 5 ports. It will stop. It starts at Kolkata. It stops in Orissa. One port is there. It stops there. Again, it will stop in Andhra Pradesh in Visakhapatnam. Again, it will stop in Andhra Pradesh in Kakinada. Again, it will stop in Chennai. Again, it will have a stop in another port in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. After that, it will stop in another port in Kerala. Like that, it will have multiple stops. One ship I hired, first ship, that will reach directly, non-stop. Now, first one will reach very early, second one will reach 1.5 months later. During that time, I came to know that there is a insolvency. In such case, part delivery anyway made, you can sue the buyer, you can't get back the goods anyway. Okay, on buyer you can take action. On the balance, two machinery is there, you can stop the transit. So, transit not made, excise lien, don't give to him. That's the answer given. Clear? Okay. So now very important. When all these things will happen, if there is no waiver, you waived. Means what? You came to know that he is insolvent, but still you are allowing. Then your waiver you can't stop the goods in transit. 4 points. Very, very important. Duration of transit. Literally mug up these 4 points for examinations point of view. Next. How stoppage in transit is effected. Means what is the process of stopping in transit. The unpaid seller may exercise his right of stoppage in transit either by taking actual possession of the goods or by giving the notice of his claim to the carrier or other bailee in whose possession the goods are. Either if it is small goods, I can only take possession. If it is already with the carrier or any other warehouse, etc., I will ask them, keep it with you, don't send to the buyer. Over. Such notice may be given either to the person in actual possession of the goods or to his principal. In the latter case, the notice to be effectual shall be given at such time and such circumstances that the principal, by exercise of reasonable diligence, may communicate it to his servant or agent in time to prevent the delivery to the buyer. Read this. Not so great point, just paragraph type na. So I will give a minute time, please read it properly. Okay? Now listen carefully. First point, this is easy up to here. To whom you should give a notice to stop the transit. If it is within your possession, you can. Or else what you have to do? You should give a notice to the carrier person. Stop it. Okay? Or you can tell, lorry is there. Lorry transport. Lorry transport, owner will be, proprietor will be sitting at somewhere. Driver will be some other, but driver is the agent to the proprietor. Na? So you gave information directly to the lorry driver, agent. Stop the goods or take the goods directly or bring back. I will pay the transport cost for you. You bring back, I said. Am I clear? So bringing back costs are there, na? Those expenses of redelivery I will be bearing. You come back again, I said. That 1 point. Or sometimes you can tell directly to the proprietor, sir, please ask your agent to stop the goods. In that case, you should give intimation to the principal in such a time, such that he should have a chance to communicate to the agent. Okay, buyer house is here, lorry is here. Okay, another 2 kilometers he will reach. Then you called your proprietor. That proprietor phone not reachable. At all important times, phones are not reachable. It is not reachable to him. Now he can't communicate to him. Then you cannot tell principal you done the mistake. You should take some time. You give some time to the principal to communicate to the agent to prevent the delivery to the buyer. That's what you want to tell. Okay? Next. When the notice of stoppage in transit is given by the seller to the carrier or other bailee in possession, he shall redeliver the goods according to the directions. Okay? When redelivering, expenses will be there. Who should bear? Seller only will bear. Common sense answer. That's all. Okay? Main crux and every point I explained. Later, institute will give analysis points. You can read analysis points later. Mainly, you have to read the content. Okay, next point. Difference between right of lien, right of stoppage in transit. Okay, sir, I am again telling you, this is section, this is analysis. Whatever I have made now, lesser than that only they will analyze. Okay, just if you want, you can read this, but examination you have to write the sections content only. Next, distinction between right of lien and right of stoppage of goods in transit. Lien means what? Taking the possession which are already in the possession of seller. Stoppage in transit means right to regain the possession. Means already it is going on, now I am taking back. Okay, lien means already in my possession. Okay, right of lien, retain possession, it is regain possession. Okay, next, seller should be in possession of goods under lien. While in stoppage in transit, seller should have parted with the possession. Possession should be with the carrier, or buyer has not acquired the possession. In any of the three cases, I can take the stoppage of goods. Okay, that means seller is only possessing the goods. He is only giving it to the buyer at that time. For example, I am there. Okay, I am there. I am only delivering personally. I came to know that you are insolvent. What I will do, I will stop with that. Or I have given to a transporter. I will give intimation to the transporter, stop. Or I went to the buyer has rejected. Even then the transit will not come to an end. Already we learned, in any of the three cases, you can have a right of stoppage of transit. Right of lien can be exercised even when buyer is not insolvent, but but it is not the case in the right of stoppage in transit. Basic condition. Lien means what? If you default in making the payment, I will take lien, whether or not you are insolvent. But stoppage in transit, you can exercise only if you come to know that buyer is declared as an insolvent. Right of stoppage in transit begins with right of lien ends. Thus, the end of right of lien is the starting point of right of transit. So, starting point is the lien. Lien when you can access, when you are in the possession, you left it, already it gone out of your hands. Then you want to regain the possession, then stoppage of transit. Right of lien comes to an end as soon as the goods go out of the possession of the seller, but the right of stopping in transit comes to an end as soon as the goods are delivered to the buyer. See that. Right of lien comes to an end. Okay, when the possession goes out of possession of seller, and the right of stoppage will end when it is delivered back to the buyer. Okay, sorry, when as will end as soon as it is delivered to the buyer. So right of stoppage of goods. Right of lien means what? Taking the possession. When the goods come back to the go out of the possession of seller, right of lien is gone. When I can exercise right of lien? When I have possession. When seller lost possession, right of lien gone. When right of stoppage of transit will be gone? Transit life, it is there, you can stop. When it already reached and delivered to buyer, your right will stop. Okay, lien, seller should miss. Okay, and right of stoppage, buyer should receive. Okay, next. So I am putting it before you. Take a minute time, read it first. We go to section number 53. Please read properly, everyone. Complete everything in the class itself, such that you need not again read for exams. Directly you complete now. So let's continue. Next one is effects of subsale or pledge by the buyer. Okay, mark this important for December exams. 90% this question can come. Okay, mark it very, very important for the exams. Let us see what this is. The right of lien or stoppage in transit is not affected by the buyer. Is not affected by the buyer selling or pledging the goods unless seller has assented to it. Okay, stop there. Read this. The right of lien or stoppage in transit is not affected by buyer selling or pledging the goods unless the seller has assented to it. Sir, what does it mean? I sold goods to seller. Seller sold goods to buyer. Buyer has entered into agreement with another person that I will sell these goods to you. A, B, C. Seller, buyer. He will become seller, he will become buyer. Okay, this is the position. Now what B has done? B agreed with C that I will sell the goods to you. Okay, I will sell the goods to you. A sell goods to B. B will sell goods to C. This is an agreement. This is already entered and goods are also in transit. During the transit, A came to know that B became insolvent. Okay. Now, A will take back the goods by regaining the possession by stopping the goods in transit. He can do that irrespective of these agreements. That means since B already entered into agreement with C, there will be breach of contract. A will be sued for damages. Nothing will happen to A. Clear? That means the right of lien, right of stoppage in transit is not affected by buyer selling or pledging the goods. Pledging the goods means keeping the goods as a security. Keeping the goods as a security. Unless the seller has assented to it. What does it mean? Unless the seller has assented to it means if seller he himself said that. Seller, you are a buyer. I am a seller in Kolkata. You are a buyer in Gujarat. I sold goods to you. The date of sale I have given a written contract to you saying that, okay, written contract saying that I am allowing you to enter into other sale contracts with others, or you can put these goods as a pledge, as a security for the loan taken. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Transit is going on. At that time I came to know that goods are in the transit and I came to know you are insolvent. I can't exercise right of lien. I can't exercise stoppage in transit because I only allowed the buyer to sell the goods to other buyer. Clear everyone? So unless the seller has assented to it, this is an exception. That means if seller sell the goods to buyer through a carrier vehicle, and okay, he has all right to stop the carrier vehicle which is in transit. Okay, which is in transit, he has all the rights, even though buyer enter into contract with another consequent buyer. Next, the right of stoppage is defeated if a buyer has transferred the goods, transferred the document of title or pledges the goods to the buyer in good faith and for a consideration. Sir, what is this? A question may arise or not. What does it mean? The right of stoppage is defeated if the buyer has transferred the document of title or pledges the goods, okay, in good faith or for a consideration. Sir, what does it mean? This you have to read through exceptions here. Okay, mark these exceptions, very, 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 very important. Okay, how many exceptions are there? 2 exceptions, 1 point is there. Let us read. Exceptions where unpaid seller's right of lien or right of stoppage in transit are defeated. That means can seller exercises right of lien or stoppage in transit? No. In what cases? In 2 cases you can't. What are the 2 cases? When the seller has assented to the sale or mortgage or other disposition of goods made by the buyer. Already I completed this. He himself has assented. Over. Further example has been given, you can read later. Very, very important is B point. When a document of title to the goods has been transferred to the buyer, and the buyer transfers the documents to a person who has bought the goods in good faith or for value, that is a price, then the proviso of subsection 1 stipulates as follows: if the last mentioned transfer is by way of a sale, right of lien or stoppage in transit is defeated, or if the last mentioned transfer is by way of a pledge, unpaid seller's right of lien or stoppage only be exercised subject to the rights of the pledgee. Sir, I didn't understand anything. That's why I said this is important and difficult. You read this point, we go to the next part. Okay, let's continue. See here, when the document of title to the goods has been transferred to the buyer, and the buyer transfers the documents to a person who has bought the goods in good faith and for value for the price, then the proviso stipulates as follows: if the last mentioned transfer is by way of sale, the right of lien or stoppage in transit is defeated. First, let us read this. Sir, what is document of title? Listen. Document of title means whenever you are sending the goods by way of a carrier vehicle, you dump all the goods in a lorry. That lorry person will give a receipt called as a document of title. That is called as a bearer instrument. Whoever have the document of title, that person will become the owner of the goods in the vehicle. Okay. So, immediately the carrier vehicle will be there, that person will give a paper called as a DOT, document of title. In railway they will give RR, or railway receipts, okay, or they will give shipna, they will give BOL, bill of lading. All these are called as a proof of a ownership. Whoever have this document, I will deliver goods to him. That's called as a document of title. When a document of title to the goods has been transferred to the buyer, that means you are transferring. I am a seller. Okay, I am a seller. You entered into contract with me. You are a buyer, I am a seller. Both are in two different places. Okay, you are in Gujarat, I am in Kolkata. Ship has to go 5,000 kilometers. It takes 20-25 days. So the moment goods are loaded in the ship, I immediately posted the document of title to you via postal transit. To 1 day or 2 days the post received to you. That means you are having the possession of document of title now. Means what? You are transferring the ownership to me immediately, but the goods are still in transit. At that time, what this buyer has done? This buyer has transferred the document of title to another person. What do you mean by document of title? A and B entered into agreement. A transferred document of title to B. B didn't transfer goods. B transferred document of title to C. Ship came to Gujarat. Now C can get the goods. That means A transferred document of title to B means what does it mean? A is agreeing to transfer the ownership to B, whether or not price is received. That's why we should never do overaction. Unless and until you get the money, don't transfer document of title. That's why, do you know what most of the people will do? A is in Kolkata, B is in Gujarat. Okay, ship will be ready na. Document of title will be given to a agent of A. He will go in the ship along with him, or he will go by roadway or airways. He will be at the port yard. At that time, he will give to B, such that payment time and giving document of title time should be same, such that you can avoid all these circumstances. In advance, if you transfer document of title, B can immediately transfer this document of title to C. In this case, you only agreed to transfer the ownership without paying the price. Then why you are questioning him for not paying it? So you can't stop the goods in transit. You can't exercise the lien. Your lien, everything has been defeated. This is the first one. Okay, when the document of title to the goods has been transferred to the buyer, and the buyer transfer the document to a person who has bought the goods in good faith and for value, that means he don't know the defect, etc. He purchased as a normal outsider. He don't know about anything happening between A and B. In such case, if it is a sale contract entered, right of lien stoppage transit is defeated. Okay, next point. Let us try to understand the next issue clearly. Next one. If the last mentioned transfer is by way of a pledge, that means the buyer didn't sell, buyer pledged it. The unpaid seller's right of lien or stoppage of transit only be exercised subject to the rights of pledgee. Sir, what does it mean? Sir, I will explain this. A sold goods to A, agreed to sell the goods to B. Okay, A agrees to sell the goods to B. Okay, as a normal thing. Okay, document of title has been transferred. B took loan from SBI. Okay, B took loan from SBI. Document of title is transferred. B took loan from SBI. Okay, some amount of loan. For this loan, document of title is kept as a security. Okay, document of title is kept as a security. So A has delivered document of title to B. B has taken loan from SBI. For the loan, security must be kept na. Document of title kept as security, such that the goods will be taken by you if I don't pay the loan. Okay, document of title is kept as a security, saying that I will repay the loan. Goods will be in the warehouse. This is the document of title, you keep it with you. I delivered to SBI. Now, during the transit time, A came to know that B became insolvent. Okay, then what A can do is a query now. What A can do? A has to pay the loan amount to SBI and take back the document of title and take the goods back from the carrier vehicle. Sue B for breach of contract, etc. Under Contract Act, you have to do that. Repetition one more time. A sold goods to B, agreed to sell. Goods are transferred to a carrier vehicle. Goods are going on. It takes around 15-20 days. He has given document of title to B. B didn't sell the document of title. He kept the document of title as a pledge. Pledge means as a security. Security to SBI. SBI has given loan to B. Okay, say 5,000 loan has been taken. Example, 5 lakh. Okay, na? Taken loan. For that amount, 5 lakh worth goods document of title was kept as a security with SBI. Okay, this is the thing. So pledge was given as a document of title, was given as a security. Now, B became insolvent. A came to know what he can do. He should pay entire loan amount to SBI. That's what he want to mean by subject to the rights of the pledgee. Pledgee rights you have to fulfill first. Pledgee means SBI here. Pledger means who give the goods. Who give the document of title here. Okay, pledger, okay, means B. Pledgee means SBI. SBI right is what? Right to recover the amount. You pay that amount 5 lakh and you take back the document of title, you can take back the goods. Okay, you can personally sue Mr. B for the breach of contract, etc. under Contract Act. We will read that point later. Okay, that's the point here. Next. However, The pledgee may be required by unpaid seller to use in the first instance other goods or securities of the pledger available to him to satisfy his claims. To satisfy his claims means what? See here. However, pledgee may be required by the unpaid seller. Okay, seller's right of lien or stock. Sorry, the pledgee may be required by the unpaid seller to use in the first instance other goods or securities of the pledger available to him to satisfy his claims. Sir, I didn't understand. Read for a while. I will explain the meaning. First, you make your try. Okay, now? Have you read? Sir, I will explain. Same example, let us extend. A transferred a document of title to B. B has taken loan from SBI worth rupees 10 lakh. Goods worth rupees 5 lakh. Goods worth rupees 5 lakh. Okay. So document of title value is 5 lakh. A took loan, B took loan from SBI and kept a document of title worth rupees 5 lakh as a security, and gold belonging to B was rupees another 5 lakh. This is how this was made. Now what happened? A came to know that B has become insolvent. Okay? He can stop the transit, he can stop the lien, he can excise lien, or he can stop the goods. Okay? You can stop the goods when you have to pay necessary amount to SBI. Okay, SBI is not a fool. You only transfer document of title to B, allowing him to sell. He didn't sell. For that case, you should be very happy. He only pledged the goods. Pledged the goods with SBI. Now what you can do with SBI? A, go to SBI and tell that B is a cheater. He is insolvent. He didn't pay money. He couldn't pay money even in the near future. Please give back my goods. SBI will tell that, Pagal dikhta hu main, pichola ganabisthana, do you think that I am a fool? I have given loan to him worth 10 lakhs. Oh, then what to do? I will pay 5 lakh. A said, 5 lakh. Why? Document of title is value only worth 5 lakh, but I have given 10 lakh loan to him. Okay, 10 lakh loan to him. So, 10 lakh loan, 5 lakh is the document of title, 5 lakh is the gold. Now, this particular A has a right to sell the gold belonging to B, get that 5 lakh. Document of title 5 lakh A has to pay to SBI like in the previous case, and he can clear the dues. And he can get back the document of title. Means ownership of the goods will be regained to his possession. He will sell to some other person, sue Mr. B as usual. Okay? This is the point of this particular area. Securities of the pledger. Okay? That's all. These are all some important concepts in effects of subsale or pledge by the buyer. Next one. Next issue. Right of resale. The right of resale is a very valuable right given to the unpaid seller. In absence of his right, unpaid seller's right against the goods, that is lien and stoppage, would not have been. Sorry. would not have been of much use because these rights only entitle unpaid seller to retain until paid by buyer. Sir, what does it mean? See here. What is the concept we are going to discuss now? Right of resale means what? I agreed to sell to B. B is not paying me, or B became insolvent. I took over the lien. I retain the possession, and in case of stoppage in transit, I regain the possession. What you will do by retaining and regaining? You can have a right to resell. Okay, that will not lead to breach of contract from your side. That's the beauty. Where goods are of a perishable nature, buyer need not be informed about intention to resell. Okay. Where he gives a notice to the buyer of his intention to resell the goods. If after the receipt of such notice, buyer fails within a reasonable time to pay, seller may resell the goods. It may be noted in such cases, on resale of the goods, the seller is also entitled to recover difference between contract price and resale price from the original buyer as damages. Means contract price is 5 lakh. Resale I could sell only at 4 lakh. 1 lakh I will collect as a damage. From whom? Buyer. Retain the profit if the resale is higher. This is beauty. Actually, I contracted for you for 5 lakh, but I could resell at 6 lakh. 1 lakh profit has come now. That I need not give back to the buyer. You can retain the profit. Okay. It may also be noted that seller can recover damages and retain profits only when the goods are resold after giving notice of resale to the buyer, unless perishable. Thus, if the goods are resold by the seller without giving notice to the buyer, seller cannot recover the loss suffered on resale. 1 lakh deficit there na, he cannot recover. Moreover, profit is there na, he has to return back. Next, where unpaid seller who has exercised his right of lien or stoppage in transit resell the goods. Okay, what is the first one? Gives notice to the buyer of his intention. Okay, for example, due date is today. Today he didn't pay the money. Who didn't pay? Buyer didn't pay. I have to first intimate the buyer. Buyer, you didn't pay. I am trying to resell it. Then he will tell them, no, sorry, sir, I will make the payment. He made the payment. Take it. Even after that, he didn't give any reply. Then you can sell. Deficit you can recollect, profit you can retain with you. But if it is a right of lien, I exercise a lien, you didn't pay, or you become insolvent at that time, the subsequent buyer acquires the good title thereof as against the original buyer, despite the fact of notice of resale has not been given by seller to the original buyer. That means the second buyer will be there na. Okay, first buyer defaulted, second buyer will get all the rights in the goods. His title will not be disturbed. Next point you see there, a resale by the seller where right of resale is expressly reserved in the contract of sale. Sorry, let us read first. Sometimes it is expressly agreed between the seller and the buyer that in case the buyer makes default in payment of price, seller will resell the goods to some other person. In such cases, seller is said to have reserved his right of sale and he may resell the goods on buyer's default. It may be noted that in such cases, seller is not required to give a notice of resale. He is entitled to recover damages, etc. Sir, what does it mean? Simple. In the terms and conditions sheet, I have clearly written, if you don't pay the money within time or make a default, I will resell to another person. If it is clearly said, notice separately need not be given. Where the property in the goods has not passed to the buyer, the unpaid seller has, in addition to remedies, right of withholding the goods, okay, in addition to his remedies, a right of withholding the delivery of the goods. The right is similar to lien and is a quasi-lien. Okay, right to withhold the delivery of goods. Withhold the delivery of goods means I will hold it sometime. Once you pay, I will release again. Lien means completely I am taking the possession. Next. Remaining whatever we are going to read now, these are dead easy contract act points. I am not going to waste so much time on this. Okay. I want to revise this chapter, but I explained each and every point there. These kind of concepts, please don't waste time. Right of unpaid seller against the buyer. What against the buyer you can do? Instead of collecting price, resell, etc., I can sue him for the price. Where it is a contract, where under a contract of sale, the property means title, ownership in the goods has passed to the buyer. Okay, lien means I should have possession. Stoppage in transit means what? Goods should be in the transit and he should be insolvent. It is not stoppage in transit, it is not that. It's a credit transaction. I transferred goods. I transferred the goods. Okay. Property also, title also transferred to. He is not paying me the money properly. Default. Where under the contract of sale, property and goods has been passed to buyer. The buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay. Okay. He may sue for the price. Where under the contract of sale, the price is payable on a certain day, irrespective of delivery. Delivery whether made or not, you should pay on that date. The buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses. The seller may sue him for the price, although property in the goods has not been passed and the goods have not been appropriated to the contract. If payment should be made in 10 days, delivery will be received in 15 days. If you don't make the payment, I will stop the I will exercise the suit for price. You have to pay me. Suit for damages for non-acceptance. So for that, Indian Contract Act will apply. That's why he has given here. Repudiation of contract. That means even before the contract completes, buyer said that I entered into contract now, I could not buy. Then I can sue him for the damages. Anticipatory breach of contract under Contract Act will apply. And not only that, I can also charge interest at a specified rate. That's why I said don't waste time reading these. These are already covered in Contract Act as a similar points. I'm not telling those will not come in exam. Don't waste time on that because we have already completed. Okay. Remedies of buyer against the seller, reverse case. Okay. Reverse case. If seller is not delivering the goods properly, then what are all the rights of the particular buyer? First one, damages for non-delivery. Where seller wrongfully neglects or refuses to deliver, buyer can sue the seller for damages for non-delivery. How do damages for non-delivery? Contract Act will get applied. Example he has given, see that. Or sometimes he can tell that you die but you sell the goods to me. Suit for specific performance. Where seller commits breach of contract, the buyer can appeal to the court for specific performance. The court can order for specific performance. Okay. Contract must be for sale of specific and ascertained goods. Specific goods are ascertained. You said that these goods. The power of court, okay, is under an act called as a Specific Relief Act. It empowers court to order specific performance where damages would not be adequate remedy. Okay, adequate remedy. For example, this happens in case of hospitals, etc. Hospitals will order for emergency equipment, etc. from another person. That person said, I will sell. He is not selling now. Okay, now I can't go for alternative because emergency equipment are available very scarce. Now you must make a specific performance. I will file a case in court, not for damage. I don't want your damages. I don't want your bloody interest. Buyer will sue the seller. I want delivery. That's all. Specific performance. Under Specific Relief Act, court will give the judgment, not under Contract Act, etc. Okay. Next, suit for breach of warranty. Already in the first chapter we have read that suit of breach of warranty. Those one. Repudiate the contract before the due date means where either party to a contract of sale repudiate means cancel the contract before date of delivery. Other may treat the contract as subsisting and wait for the date of delivery, or he may treat the contract as rescinded and suit for the damages. Same sir, again repudiation and suit for the interest. First let us read this taxes concept. Inclusion of increased or decreased taxes in contract of a sale. What is that? Inclusion of increased or decreased taxes in the contract of sale. Where after a contract has been made but before it is being performed, tax revision takes place. Where tax is being imposed, increased, decreased or remitted in respect of any goods without any stipulations to the payment of tax, the parties would become entitled to rate just the price of the goods accordingly. Following taxes are applied on the sale or purchase of the goods. Any duty of customs excise, now GST, any tax on the sale or purchase of the goods. The buyer would have to pay the increased price where the tax increases and may derive benefit of reduction in if taxes are curtailed. Thus, the seller may add increased taxes in price. Effect can be, however, is excluded by an agreement to the contrary. It is open to the parties to stipulate anything regarding taxation. Sir, what is this? Simple. One line I will discuss. Listen carefully. Contract is made. Today we entered into contract. Okay? But delivery must be made in next 3 months. When I entered, GST rate on that goods is 5%. Government increased it to 9% in 2 months' time. That means the day on which we agreed and the day on which a delivery is made, goods are of a same tax or different tax are different tax. Increase in seller has a right to increase the value and buyer has a duty to pay. Reduce in he has a right of revision. But all these are okay only if there is no contract. In the contract, I have clearly written at the beginning, change in taxes will not affect the contract. Then it will not affect in any way. That's all. Okay. Next, auction is a small answer, just to give a reading and leave out. Auction means in a lot, in a bid we will bid. Auctioneer will come. Auctioneer, he is not agent to anyone. He is an independent party. He will sell the goods. Here reserved price will be coming. Reserved price means whenever auction is conducted, 10-15 parties will come and sit. Those 10-15 parties will do kirkiri. They will do bid rigging. Means what? Property value is 50 lakhs. Value is 50 lakhs property value. Intentionally what these people will agree, you tell 5, I tell 10, let not our price reach 20. Then 20 will become the highest price, now we will sell it at a lower price. In order to avoid this, reserved price means seller will give a reserve price as a secret, okay, to the auctioneer. Say 41 lakhs. Any price comes below 41, auction will be rejected, put it for a subsequent sale. That's the idea, okay. Just read the point and leave it. This is all about one of the most important chapter in the Sale of Goods Act chapter. The concept is called as a unpaid seller. Okay. Thank you.